This is the new Tesla Cybertruck, and it's a little bit like, actually, it's not really like any other car I've ever driven before. It's completely unique, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly why, but I'm going to give you one reason right now, and it's the fact that the body panels are made out of stainless steel that is very tough, which means you can do this to it without causing any damage. Come on, join in, guys. Ah! Oh, I pulled the muscle. Let's start this video by talking about the design of the Cybertruck. And I think its worst angle is the rear. Because of those flat body panels, it just looks like a box, a bit nondescript. And you've probably seen things all over the internet about the fit and finish and how some of the panels don't really line up and some of the gaps if you look at this over here. I should point out that this is a pre-production car. However, because this is stainless steel and very, very tough, you can't bend it round like you would do on a normal car. That's just the way it is. It's designed like that. It just is what it is. And it is very, very unique. This angle here, now, when you look at this angle, it looks really quite cool. It's starting to look very futuristic, very, very different. And you can see there's not many bends in the panels here. This one just has one bend in it, but it's one huge single panel. And of course, you've got some chunky wheel arches here. And then moving down the side, we've got the doors, which you open by pressing these buttons. Look, there we are. It may sound like I'm on a building site, and that's because I am. Look. It is a building site. We're at Tesla's Gigafactory here in Austin, Texas, which is where they make this Cybertruck. And then you open the front door here like this, look. There you go. Now, these doors have a few more bends in them. So you have 1, 2, 3 creases. It's actually really hard to bend this metal. It's so blooming tough. And this is really cool. This is the largest windscreen on any production vehicle. And this is the largest windscreen wiper on any production vehicle. That's 1.2 meters long. Now moving to the front, distinctive look here. You've got this full length light bar and the headlights are actually underneath here. These are the headlights. And you've got matrix LED, so they'll blank out part of their beam so they don't dazzle oncoming drivers. I'll quickly show you what the lights look like on this car at night. So here's the rear signature, and come around, we'll have a look at the front. Voila. Unmistakable. It really is a unique looking thing, and you might be wondering, well, wait a minute, these sharp edges, you're going to cut yourself, but it's all been rounded off, so you don't cut yourself on it, thankfully. Nothing else on the road looks like this. So obviously it's dead expensive, right? Well, to be fair, it's a little bit more expensive than they said it was going to be when they unveiled it 4 years ago. Said it was going to start from about $40,000. Actually starts from $50,000. It rises up to $96,000 if you want the tri-motor Cyber Beast version. But if you ask me, that's still quite decent value, really. Here on the inside, the Cybertruck's design is very Tesla-y in the way that it's minimalist with no buttons at all, really, as everything is controlled through this touchscreen. And it's a new touchscreen. It's very, very zippy. Look at that. And I can do things like open the front, mess around with the tonneau cover, open the charge port by pressing on these buttons here. In fact, do you want to see the front open? Look, it's the first powered front on any car. Go on, ready? Watch this. Close. Wow. I don't know why I'm making that noise. Anyway, so you got all your usual Tesla-iness, so you can whip through all the different controls. You got your navigation, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into detail. You got your gamesy, toy boxy, nonsensey, kind of make farty sound stuff. You got your climate control through there. You got your satellite navigation. Where are your satellite navigation? There we go, satellite navigation. See how zippy that is. Really, really good. Anyway, let's move on to the fact that that is where all your information is. Unfortunately, they haven't fitted a heads-up display to this car. I mean, they really, really should have done, because that's one thing that's always missing from Teslas. Now, if you need to control things like the indicators, they're all there on the steering wheel. You've got your voice commands there. You've got your windscreen wash there as well. If you need to change your mirrors, you have to go in here and what do? Yeah, you go into that car, blah, 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 blah. Mirrors, there. There we go, and then you move them using those buttons. Then if I want to move the steering wheel, I do that, and then I move the steering wheel up and down, like that, in and out. Ooh. That brings you onto the steering wheel itself. So it's like an evolution of the yoke from the Model S, but it's much better. It's much easier to use. More on the steering in a bit, but thankfully, you've got a horn that's easy to get at. rather than having to press some buttons. I like that. In terms of the fit and finish, well, I have said this is a pre-production version, but generally it's pretty decent. If you look at the dash here, you can see some of the stitching is a bit wonky-ish, and look at that there, but that's probably pre-production in us, and so is this, look. I'm sure customer cars are a little bit better. I think people go on a lot about the build quality in Teslas, and they're not the very best. A Lexus does have better build quality, but I don't think they're so far behind the Germans as you might think. Anyway, let's go and look at some of the storage. Big storage bin under here. You've got some cup holders there. You've got wireless charging there for your mobile phone. There's loads of space under here for your bags and whatever. You've also got some decent sized door bins. Come and look at the door bins. Look there, plenty of room for bottles. In fact, let me just grab a bottle. I mean, it's quite a small bottle, but there's plenty of space. And I want to show you the glove box. So I have to go into car, and actually, let's do this. Open glove box. There we go. Close glove box. This command is not available. Why is close glove box not available, but open is? Let's just press tab on here. Look, just weird. Maybe that's because it's pre-production. I hope so. I mean, come on. As for the seats, they're quite sporty in design, but they're not the most body hugging. But they're comfy. The only thing I'm not so sure about is the way this headrest sort of protrudes forward. I'm not sure that's good for posture. Anyway, look at that. The view out is pretty incredible. It's huge windscreen, and look, you got some visors, a bit like on the Model X. You fold those down if you need a bit more visoriness. But smallest vanity mirror considering the size of the visor, and of course you can do this, look, to move them that way. I think we should check out the back now. Here in the back seats, there's plenty of room. So look, knee room's good. Headroom, I can fit my hand above my head like that. I'm 179 centimetres tall. People over 6 foot will be fine. People much over 6 foot will struggle. One thing I do worry about though is because you've got this huge, lovely glass roof, if you go over a bump, like when you're going off-road, you might end up going like that, and that is not yielding at all like a normal car's headliner would be. Is it going to happen to you? I don't know. Just yeah, be careful, right? Now, being an electric car, obviously, you get a completely flat floor, and the front seats are lifted up quite a way, so you can really stretch out. Look at that. I like that. Also in the back, you've got this infotainment screen here, so you can control your climate and all that kind of stuff. What else can you do? Let's get into this mode here, so I can turn on the heated seats, and can you see that? So I can move the front seat forward. So if I really want to create a lot of room in this particular seat, look at that. Yeah, look at all this space. You can really stretch out then, look. Look at that. It's like a limousine. Right, let me put that back. Another thing I want to show you is this. Really nice feature if you've got 3 children. 1, 2, 3 ISOFIX fittings. That's really good. Another thing I want to show you is this, look. The rear doors open to 90 degrees pretty much, so it makes it nice and easy to get in and out. Plus, if I pull on this little strap here, see that? Pull that. I can lift this up. It's like on a Honda Jazz. Pull this one. And I guess if you needed to, you could then have a sleep here, couldn't you? Oh, anyway, let's check out the boot. Now, before we go into the load area, I want to show you this, if I can do it. This tonneau cover is so strong, you can do that and it won't break. Which means that your stuff should be nice and secure in there. Now, to lower the tailgate, you press this button and it's damped. Though, to put it back up, you have to do it manually. To retract the tonneau cover, press the button, away it goes. And you've got a really big load bed. So, the capacity is just over 2,800 litres, which is better than all its electric rivals and better than a normal F-150 with a petrol engine. It's pretty impressive. Also, there's some nice features in here. So there's light bars there. You have, let me just get on here. Of course you can sit here if you want to. Underneath here, some storage. And you can fill this with ice and then put your beer and drinks in there, because look, in there is a little drain plug. See that? So the water, after the ice has melted, can then be drained away. Shut that back down. We have various points for tethering. Ah, there we go. Look, those points. And apparently, don't these double as bottle openers? You can open your bottles of beer on there. What else do you need to know? The towing capacity. It is just under 5 tonnes, which is the same as the Rivian R1T. It's better than an F-150 Lightning, better than a Hummer EV, but not quite as good as the best Ford F-150. That will do 6 tonnes, but still fairly impressive. Now, is there something else I need to tell you? Oh yes, payload. So you can carry 1.1 tonnes worth of stuff in here, which is better than this truck's electrical equivalent. However, it's not quite as good as what you can carry in a Ford F-150, a normal one with an internal combustion engine, because they have a payload of almost 1.5 tonnes. Obviously, being electric, we have some storage under the front boot. So, there we go, it's quite large. In fact, you could use this as a seat. You can carry up to 200 kilos in weight. I wonder if I can fit in here with this shut. Let's give it a go. Come on. Come on. Ow. Oh, no, not quite. Anyway, that brings on to 5 annoying things about the Tesla Cybertruck. You get a very small rear view mirror, and it becomes completely useless once you shut the tonneau cover. So if we shut the tonneau cover now, look, oh dear, and now you can't see anything out of the mirror. To be fair, you do have a camera which then displays rearward as you're driving along, so you can see what is behind you, but the mirror's always better. It's unlikely that the Cybertruck will ever be sold in Europe because of our more stringent pedestrian protection regulations. You see, this is not really going to be very yielding if you hit someone. It's all very hard. Look, imagine banging your head off there. I mean, more than likely you'll go underneath it, but still, bang, hard edges. Imagine if you hit this. It's going to do so much damage, even at very low speed. The dash is so deep and the windscreen so steeply raked that it's going to be very hard to clean the glass in the corners. So go. Can I get there? No, can't. No, no. Oh, give up. As you can see, the doors don't cover the sills, which means that when you've been like off-roading and stuff and you're getting it in and out, because the sills protrude, you end up dragging your legs over the back of the sills, and if you're wearing trousers, you're going to just get dirt all over them. I'm not so bothered because I've got my beautiful legs out. But yeah, it's going to be a bit annoying. Ah, damn it. Now, relying on a camera to be able to see behind you is all well and good, so long as the camera is clean. And unfortunately, Tesla, unlike some other car manufacturers, hasn't decided to put a little washer over the rear view camera, so it can get covered in dirt like this, and then you're not going to really be able to see anything through the camera, which means you're going to have to stop the car, get out, and then wipe it with your finger. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. This is the only production road car that doesn't have the steering in any way, shape or form connected to the wheels. Look at this. Look, I'm turning the wheel. Look. But what's happened to the wheels? Oh no! Now, if I turn the car on, you will see that my wheels are now connected to the steering wheel. Watch. Can you see that? What's really interesting is that I can go from lock to lock just by turning the wheel that much. It means that you don't have to do any wheel twirling while doing low speed maneuvers. However, the faster you go, the steering gets less sensitive, so it just figures out how much to turn the wheels, the right amount of steering that you require for the maneuver you're trying to make. And to help you make your maneuvers, look, the back wheels turn as well. Now, before you get all a bit too worried about the fact that what about safety, because oh my god, no, like the steering isn't connected to the wheels, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Don't worry, there's 3 sensors which control what the wheels do, and that means that you've got 2 are just there for redundancy. And also, we've already got cars that do brake by wire and throttle by wire, so why not steering by wire? No need to worry. One of the things you can do with this truck is change the drive mode to off-road and then go into Baja mode, which will lift it up. I can then alter the split of the drive. I can have it all the way to the back or all the way to the front, or a mixture of whatever I want in between. So I'm going to put it all the way to the rear. Then I'm going to put the stability assist into minimum, and let's see what I can do. It's crazy. If you want to, you can run household appliances from this Tesla. You just open this flap up there and you just plug in your normal plug here. What you can actually do is connect it to your house and provide electricity for your house for up to 3 days usage. You know, this is a vehicle that's designed for the apocalypse, and that's obviously why you're capable of running your house. Give you 3 days before the zombies come to get you. For a pickup truck, this thing is quite aerodynamic. It has a drag coefficient of 0.34 CD. It's not quite as good as a Rivian R1T, which has a drag coefficient of 0.30. However, to put things into perspective, a Ford F-150's drag coefficient is 0.44 CD. Now, these wheel trims do help with the aero, and I quite like the look of them, but if you don't, you can just rip them off and go with the alloy wheels. So that will decrease your range ever so slightly. The Cybertruck's front and rear chassis members are made from one single piece. They're absolutely huge, and they're pressed out of aluminium ingots by the world's biggest automotive presses. The one that does the rear subframe actually has 9,000 tons of pressure. The one that does the front has 6,000 tons of pressure, and the chassis member at the front actually has built-in crumple zones, and they don't actually take up that much space, but they ensure that while the body is strong, it can still give you plenty of crash protection in an impact. That's not all. This car is fitted with an 800 volt electrical system. What that means is that you can run thinner wires, because if you have more voltage, you need less current, and with less current, you can have thinner wires. Thinner wires mean less weight. Clever. Right, here we go then, driving the Cybertruck. So we're heading out of Tesla's Gigafactory. I've got the car set up in my preferred settings, so it's quite easy to do. You can just go into dynamics and go into custom. So I've got full on acceleration, but the ride and handling in relaxed. So it's slackened off the air suspension, and I've lowered the ride height, because that'll probably help with the comfort as well. And it is pretty easy, pretty relaxing to drive. One thing that really stands out compared to normal pickup trucks is just the way this thing goes down the road. Pickup trucks can feel a little bit kind of shaky and jittery with a ladder frame chassis, and the fact that their rear suspension is really, really firm, because they're actually better and designed to be taking like loads in the load bed. So when you don't have anything in there, they feel very, very bouncy. Whereas this, with the air suspension, adaptive dampers and all that kind of tech, it's just way more comfortable. And my gosh, you have some insane acceleration. Whoa, that is just brutal. It's quite weird. I went to look in the rear view mirror, then realised I got to look down there because this one doesn't even have a rear view mirror. But that sort of works. It's not as good as a rear view mirror because that's quite small to look at. The steering, it's really quite sensitive. So normally a pickup steering isn't like that. You turn the wheel actually a little bit in a normal pickup and you don't get any response at all. So it is a little bit flighty. I suppose I've just got to recalibrate my brain a little bit and then it'll all be fine. But I definitely prefer this steering wheel than the yoke. Safety system picked it up there. I couldn't see in that mirror that there was a big ass truck there, but this picked it up. So I should have been looking there instead of there, because look, when I've got the indicator on, it showed me what's in my blind spot. Maybe I'll move the mirror, which is a bit of an arse. So mirrors unfold. No, they're already unfolded, so I'm going to have to go to controls, mirrors, left, do this quick before we get going. There, that's better. Turn off the indicator, press it again. There we go. That was the truck I almost crashed into. Just how high def is that screen? That's so good. That was interesting, just how little I had to turn the steering wheel then to get around that corner. Oh yeah, the suspension is so good over these expansion joints. So good. I mean, it feels like a luxury car, not a blooming pickup. It's madness that you can have these cameras running the whole time. Normally, they switch off in other cars I've been in. I've got to make sure I'm not distracted by them. But it does allow you to see all the way around you. This truck is fitted with laminated glass all the way around to help reduce wind noise. And for a truck, it is pretty quiet. Definitely feels more like a car than a truck. I'm not sure if this one, being a pre-production, has the autopilot system. Autopilot, multi-pilot, dome lights on. No. Maybe it doesn't understand English. Although my English is from the West Midlands, which is a bit weird, mate, eh? It's definitely got all the functionality. Look, it's spotting the cones in the central reservation, got the white lines, it's got all the cars around me. It knows where everything is. In terms of the range on this thing, so this Cyber Beast version has a range of 320 miles. If you have the normal dual motor version, then it's 340 miles. But what you can get is a range extender, which is basically a battery pack from a Tesla Model 3, which then goes into the load bed. Obviously it eats into the space, but it does increase your range. And if you have the dual motor version, that gives you up to 470 miles of range. I've actually got the Trip computer running on this car, and we're going to work out the efficiency, because this new Cybertruck actually uses Tesla's latest battery tech. It's more advanced than the batteries in the Tesla Model 3, which are more advanced than the batteries in the Model S. They're actually these huge cells, much bigger than using any other Tesla, but they're way more efficient. We'll see just how efficient in a moment when we work out the average efficiency. I thought that this sensitive steering would be quite twitchy when you're going a little bit quicker, but it figures out exactly your speed, what you're trying to do. It just doesn't feel flighty. I mean, it's not the be-all and end-all of steering feel, but it's all right, it's good enough. One thing I'm quite surprised at is that even though this Cybertruck is on mud tyres, there's not that much road noise. There is a hee sound, but I'm not sure if that's the motor. Right, I'm going to put in here. I'm going to head to Walmart and do some shopping. Really, I'm surprised how comfy this thing is. Regen braking, you can use one pedal driving. Look, it'll bring you to a complete stop. So you don't really have to touch the brakes when you're just manoeuvring around like this. Speaking of manoeuvring around, this thing has a turning circle, just 11.3 meters. So it's quite easy to do U-turns. See if we can do one without killing these people. Will it make it round? They're busy filming it. I don't think I'm supposed to be driving over this bit. Let's go back the way I came. I'm just going to park it. This is where the steering really comes into its own, because it's just effortless when you're doing these kind of manoeuvres. Okay, now I'm going to show you the real benefit of the body being made out of really tough stainless steel. It's every car owner's worst nightmare. Go to the supermarket and some idiot isn't paying attention and they like, oh, whoops. Doesn't matter, really doesn't matter, look, whoop. Oh dear, doesn't matter. Although you might say, well, what happens if you've got like a basket full of shopping? Well, instead of a basket full of shopping, I'm going to get a basket case. Sam is not only a racing driver, he's also a stuntman. So Sam, can you get in the trolley? Get yourself nice and comfy. Put that on your head. Let's see what this does. This is considerably heavier. Here we go. Ready? Again? One last time for good measure. Sorry, Tesla. All right, Ed, come on, let's get out of here. Now, before we do actually wrap this video, something a bit more serious, and I just want to check the efficiency. So my little drive here, I did 419 watt hours per mile, and when you calculate that as 2 miles per kilowatt hour, it works out to 2.4. Multiply that up by the battery capacity of 123 kilowatt hours, and this car is doing a real world range of 294 miles, which isn't that far off of Tesla's claim of 320 miles on a full charge for this particular car. Now I'm going to see how quick this thing is. So we're going to launch it. Got my specialist timing gear here. Shear the stance preparing for launch, and launch is ready. Let's go. Foot off the brake. Blimey. Wow, 0 to 60, 2.84 seconds. And what's the quarter mile going to be? .2 seconds. That's quick. That's real quick. It's a pickup truck. If it does that. I want to try something else. Now let's see what the 0 to 60 time is when I launch it off-road. Launch. Oh, I can feel it scrabbling for grip. Here we go. Whoa! Crazy. It wasn't as quick. Still mental quick. Under 4 seconds. Oh, this thing's nuts. I want to show you another demonstration of how you can have fun with the Cybertruck with a friend. Although he's probably soon not going to be my friend, but bear with me. So what you can do is prank people with this big windscreen wiper. So if you lock it in the loaded position down here, then let's get some water. I'll count it in. 3, 2, 1, go. I think you escaped that. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Tesla Cybertruck? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, it's only available in North America, but if you live in North America and you want the most unique vehicle currently on sale, you should go right ahead and buy the Tesla Cybertruck. In fact, I put my money where my mouth is, and I put one on order. And I'm going to see if I can buy one, then ship it to the UK and drive it there. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out when that video goes live, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you won't miss out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of the Tesla Cybertruck by voting in the pinned comment. Click on the video windows to watch more videos.